Hi race fans, I'm Elliot Caneys and this is a NASCAR Cup Dates Friday preview show. This week me and Dan will be bringing you one driver each that you want to put in your fantasy lineup and one you might want to stay away from. Dan, you got one up on me.
Not going to say that I, called it or anything, but I did call it.
How you been?
Hey, thanks a ton for having me again, man. Especially after last week. Kind of happy with the results. Not going to say I called it or anything, but that was last week, and now it's on to the next show, man. 1 week at a time, one after another. Let's see where we're at after round 2.
Yeah, no worries. Well, you got the win last week with Chase Elliott, and as much as I hate you for that, why don't you take first pick this week? Who you got for Darlington?
So Darlington is probably one of the most difficult tracks on the NASCAR circuit. There are a lot of X factors that go into trying to win a race here. And above all else, the biggest one to me is experience. Out of all the guys in the entire Cup roster, who do I think has the most experience to get it done here? Number 19, Martin Truex Jr. That man is always up front here and always fighting for a win. He's gotten into it with Chase Elliott here before. He put on a clinic last year, and I think that man is going to repeat himself. Above all else, though, this might be his final year in the Cup Series. I think he's getting ready to hang it up and at least get one more crown jewel under his belt and to lock himself in for that chase for the Cup Series this year. I think he's going to be the guy to go ahead and do it and lock himself in for the big show.
They sound like great picks. My pick for this weekend is going to be defending series champion Kyle Larson. Larson has 5 top 5 finishes at Darlington, has 7 top 10s, has only finished outside of the top 10 once in his 8 starts there, has an average finish of 5.5, and let's not forget the last-ditch efforts he made to catch Martin Truex Jr. and Denny Hamlin in the closing stages of both of last year's races. He split the middle between Tyler Reddick and Ryan Newman, something you just don't do at Darlington. And remember in turn 3 and 4, he put it in the wall, going flat out, trying to win the race. If Hamlin had moved down just that little bit, Larson would have won. And that is why, in my opinion, you should be looking at Kyle Larson. So who have you got for your front-running driver that you want to avoid?
Driver you want to avoid. Personally, I think that could boil down to a lot of X factors. Some guys have trouble keeping the car straight, like a Stenhouse or Cody Ware. Other guys are not afraid to give you the bumper and get you out of their way, like a Joey Logano. But Darlington is a track of X factors. I believe the biggest X factor is ruthless aggression, and who has the least to lose? Kyle Busch. We don't know his situation for next year. We don't know which team he's going to be racing for. I believe he's going to be back at Gibbs, but at this point, his main sponsor's leaving. He may not be in that 18 car. No matter what I believe, that man is going to go full send and try to move everybody else out of his way. You don't want to be in front of him. You don't want to be behind him. One way or another, I believe somebody is going to be stuck in the collateral damage of a man with everything to gain and nothing to lose.
Well, my pick to avoid this weekend is Ryan Blaney. It's hard to say because I do like him so much. But he does only have 1 top 10 at Darlington in his 10 starts there. And in 5 starts, he has failed to finish inside the top 20. I'm willing to place a bet that Ryan Blaney does not finish in the top 20 this weekend. And that is why you should skip him. Oh, Dan, it's been great having you on here again on Friday. We'll get you back next week, where we'll see if I can even up the scores a little bit. How's that sound?
Hey, thank you a ton for having me. Always a pleasure. Love talking about one of my biggest passions in life, especially with somebody who appreciates it as much as you do, way on the other side of the pond, man. Great to talk globally with a real passionate fan who knows his stuff.
Johnny Mance won the first ever NASCAR race at Darlington Raceway. Whilst everyone else's car tyres were blowing up left, right and centre, Mance used truck tyres to go the entire distance. This was before the rulebook, so Mance was able to get away with it, hence taking home the trophy, which is now known as the Johnny Mance Trophy. Ned Jarrett earned his Darlington win by 14 laps, the highest lead of any NASCAR race. Jarrett used the banking that the track provided whilst everyone else was using the apron, allowing Jarrett to take home that victory. And David Pearson has the most wins at Darlington with 10. The Silver Fox leads the Intimidator, Dale Earnhardt, with 9 victories. Denny Hamlin has the most wins with 4 out of active drivers. 3 of those came in the Southern 500, with only 1 coming in the 500-kilometre race in May 2020. And this has been the NASCAR Cup Days Friday review. Make sure you check in on Monday, hopefully, where I'll go over some of the storylines coming from the race and perhaps some smaller names that you may have missed. I've been Elliot Camis. I'd like to thank Dan for joining me, and I'd like to thank you guys for watching.